What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. Happy New Year to all of y'all. I know it's been kind of crazy, but hopefully you spent some time with your families and loved ones and had a good time. Now it's to get back into the daily grind. First and foremost, Epstein files. That's what we need to be caring about on top of this other stuff. But Epstein files should not take a back seat. What did I tell you guys before? Donald Trump and his minions are wagging the dog. And what that means is they're literally trying to lead with other stories, create bigger stories so that you can forget about the one that sinks him. That is the wag the dog story 100%. And what did I say? I said they were going to do this weeks ago when I explained wag the dog. That's exactly what they did and are doing. They want you to forget about these Epstein files. I'm not. Right now, this regime, Donald Trump, is illegally not putting these things out. Not only is he breaking the law with Venezuela and kidnapping Maduro, he is breaking the law with the Epstein files. Now, with the Epstein files, this man and his regime came out with some bullshit about, we found an additional million files. Okay, here's one thing I got to really stress with that. If you just found a million files, yet you just said prior that you looked through the files and there was nobody to charge because it has been exhausted, there's nobody to charge. There's nothing to see here. That's what Pam Bondi said. It was on my desk. And then they went through it. Cockeyed Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, all of them said, nothing to see here. Then everybody went apeshit because it's like, there is something to see there. And then they said, there's nobody to further charge. I'm like, okay, but you just got a million files that you didn't have before. So how in the hell can you say that the investigation was over back then when you didn't have these millions of files? So that means that there's some men, possibly some women that are out there that could be charged for these things? That's not the case. The case is there's no million files that they just found. They spent 24 hours going through this. What they found was they didn't get Donald Trump fully out of it. Now they got to go back with 200 people to try and cover all the other shit that they forgot, that they missed. Because documentation came out saying that there was little girls from the age of 5 and up that were in these little horse stable type things in the underground area, I guess, of where Jeffrey Epstein was. And they would call them fat and ugly and all that. And guess who likes to call people fat and piggy? The same type of characteristic. Birds of a feather flock together. The way Donald Trump treats women is the exact same way that Jeffrey Epstein treated women. 100% the same. That's why they were so cool together. And it was young as 5 in these documents that literally said there was a person in there that treated the women the way Donald Trump treats women. So we don't know if that's Jeffrey Epstein or if that's Trump. But they didn't block out Epstein's names. These people were blocked out. But the characteristic fits one orange queen in office. It fits. It doesn't say it's him, but it fits his type of character. And all that really says is Jeffrey Epstein surrounded himself with like-minded people. And that there's more disgusting people like Jeffrey Epstein out there that we should be paying attention to. And they're going off and doing all kind of crazy shit. Now, I said at the very beginning, again, I feel like I'm prophetic. When they started bombing these boats, I said they're going for the oil. And all they kept on saying, and here's the thing, I've been saying since way back, when Donald Trump started demonizing Venezuelans. I remember there was a young man in a car talking about he didn't need no help from black people and blah, blah, blah. And that's before they started hunting his ass. After they started hunting the people that looked like him, and he was Venezuelan, a light-skinned Latin person, he kind of like led to, like, we don't need you or whatever. All of a sudden, they started hunting him like fucking prey. It's like, oh, okay. So now they hunting you like a fucking deer, and now you disappear. No more words from you. When black people were telling you over and over again, they're going to hunt you. And they did exactly that. And they're still doing that. They demonized you from the very beginning. And when they couldn't demonize the Mexicans as much as they wanted to, even though they called them out their name and everything, they just couldn't figure out how they can get them out of the country like they can get you Venezuelans out. Because they started calling all these different people. You know, the Haitians were eating cats and dogs. It was first Mexicans that were out here killing and raping women, or raping women. I can say it on YouTube. Sometimes I'm thinking on TikTok. Raping women. That's what they had. And then their ire just went straight to Venezuelans. See, Venezuelans didn't have a problem when they was thinking about Mexicans. They were saying like, oh, we don't need your help. Blah, 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 blah. They're coming after them, not us. We're better. Yeah, really? How the hell do you tell the difference? You think these racist ass white people can sit there and listen to your fucking dialect and think your Spanish is a little bit different than theirs? Fuck no. They didn't care about none of that shit. You speak Spanish? They did not get their little phone out and said, what, Siri, what kind of, Siri's going to answer too much. What kind of Spanish is this? They weren't going to do that. And you were too stupid to think that they would. Like they're going to figure you out. It's crazy. They can't tell an African that just stepped from Africa as a person who's lived in this country, even if you got an accent. They still have no doubts by looking at the color of your skin. We done told y'all it is a skin thing. It has shit to do with where you fucking came from. But yet, you keep getting these idiots literally coming out acting like, well, I'm better. No, you're not. You brown fool. Don't get it twisted. You light-skinned brown, but you ain't white. You keep on putting yourself in bad situations because you think your light skin is white skin. It's not. It's not. And so you put yourself in bad situations. Then you get mad at people who are darker skinned because we were fucking right and you were wrong. This young man disappeared. Where the hell is he? Had all this smoke for black people and shit talking about we got it right, you got it wrong. You disappear instead of own up to it. And then Donald Trump invades Venezuela in the heat of the night, dead of night, whichever one you want to think about it. Heat of the night is a TV show. Snatches him up, gets all proud about it, brings him back to America. He's in New York, pled not guilty, said he was kidnapped. And you had on different platforms many Venezuelans mad at people in America. I'm guessing of all races, colors, and creeds who are marching for the rights of Venezuelans, saying they shouldn't be happy about this because they just stepped out of the fucking frying pan and stepped right into a boiling hot pan of oil with Donald Trump. This man literally, I was watching some of these Venezuelans just praise the fact of what Donald Trump did. And I'm like, have your happy moment, but tomorrow's going to be a fucked up day for you. Have that happy moment that that dude's gone. But then you're going to wake up and find out your regime is still intact. All they did was take Maduro and put, what's her name? Delcy Rodriguez, his second in command, put her in they put her in the place. This president made her president. The regime didn't leave. Just Maduro. So the same shit's going to happen to you. Like I said, get your joy on for that day. But the next day, hell's breaking loose. And then Donald Trump gets into a press conference and tells them, I'm going to run your country. Jesus. Donald Trump can't even run this damn country. There are American citizens right now, and in his first year, Americans that are hungry, that we all had to step up and go out and buy food for people who didn't have it. There's many people, I can say all of us, many of us went out there and bought food for people because they were running out of SNAP money. Donald Trump didn't give two shits whether they lived or died. Healthcare about to end. Don't give a shit. I got a big, beautiful bill. Who's it beautiful for? Not Americans, for him and his cronies. These, not all of them, but the one who's getting excited about it and telling Americans that you don't know what's going on in Venezuela, so don't get up, don't try to defend us. We know what we want. I'm like, no, you don't. You wanted help is what you wanted. You got hell is what you got. And we're trying to tell you, you just bought into some shit that you really didn't want. You know what? You know how you know? The person y'all love, Maria Machado. Yeah. You wanted her. And you wanted a person that she couldn't run, so she had the other person run, and you guys voted. 6.2 million people voted more than Maduro to put him into place and Machado to love on her. She got the Nobel Peace Prize. The dude who just took over your fucking country and snatched the dude that you guys wanted to go away decided that she was not good enough and you guys didn't like her enough to put her in any kind of place to do anything. Donald Trump and his little Dumbo-eared Marco Dumbo ears, that dude, Rubio, he's the one that can like walk fast enough and take flight. That guy, that's the one that they decided that he's going to talk to your president now, Delcy, and tell her what the fuck to do. And de facto, him and two other little dipshits, Pete Hegseth, they're going to run a country. Pete Hegseth can't even run a fucking app. Can't run an app. It's insane that they're going to run another country when they can't run this one. Big beautiful bill taking Medicaid from people, Medicare, taking healthcare, ACA. People are, it's gone. And we're going to spend millions of dollars, already spent millions, to go over there in a matter of a day or whatever. All these planes flying all over the place, all this money, all this fuel, all this weaponry, and they ain't even told you that they killed 40 people. They act like ain't nothing happened. We just went and got them. It was just no, 40 people were killed. Someone's grandmother, 80 years old, sniped out. They don't even mention. You got to dig for that shit. They don't even mention it in the news. It's insane. Don't even mention that they killed 80 people to get this one man. And what did they want him for? They didn't go through Congress. So it's an illegal act. But here's the thing. We're going to delve a little bit into it, not too deep, because this is an American problem. Republican, Democrat, independent, government all together. It is an American problem. We have been relinquishing power over to the executive office for decades. Partially because the House doesn't want to take full responsibility for saying yay and they fuck up on a war and it's all their fault. So they have been relinquishing power. Did you know that a president can take 60 to 90 days in a war type situation to bomb people and do whatever the fuck he wants to do? 60 to 90 days before he has to go to the Congress to tell them about it. Did you know that shit? They created that because Congress was too scared to be the people who made the full-on decision. So they started relinquishing power to the executive. This didn't start with Trump. Trump is exploiting the fuck out of it, is what he's doing. You won't hear these Democrats saying that. These people in leadership, they won't tell you that they fucked up and did the same thing for Clinton. They fucked up and did the same thing for Obama. They ain't gonna tell you that. The Republicans did the same thing for Reagan. They did the same thing for George W. Bush. They did the same thing for George W. Bush Sr. They ain't gonna tell you that. Each party gets into place and sit here and tell Americans, oh, fear, 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 weapons of mass destruction. We got to do this. We got to do Afghanistan. We got to go here. We got to do that. It's all bullshit. It's their own strategies doing shit for billionaires. Quick understanding of this. This oil situation, everybody said Donald Trump wants the oil. I told y'all he wanted the oil. But did you understand? And this one lady who's from Venezuela, I think she's here in America now. I don't know exactly. I think she had fled. She was saying, y'all can have the oil. Take the oil. We don't even use the oil, blah, blah, blah. And you start to realize, like, okay, what is this woman talking about? You guys had oil tankers leaving and that we took. So you use the oil. So what are you talking about? So you really have to dig into the facts of what's going on in Venezuela and how they kicked other oil companies out of there and how many oil companies left on their own. Why did they do this? This is where I was talking about last night. I was on a TikTok live. Is I had to dig a little deeper and find out what is this deal with OPEC. Like OPEC in Venezuela was like one of the founding, parts of this OPEC agreement. Well, OPEC determines how much oil is put into the market. You just can't throw oil into the market without being a part of OPEC. They kind of control the amount of it, kind of like the way diamonds are controlled. Diamonds are pretty much worthless, but they put so much into the world, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, we hold back the rest, so they become very expensive. But if they release the whole, you get a diamond for $1. But they create this fake, like, there's no more than the next year. There's no more. It's the same shit. With oil, there's so much of it. So they restrict certain areas. They restrict so much that you can actually produce to be a part of APEC. So if you want to produce 600 million barrels of oil, you throw off the whole damn world on how oil goes in and out. Who's going to buy it? And if they buy it, who's going to stop producing oil in their own country? It's all like a shell game, so to speak. So you ask yourself, they went and got this. Donald Trump wanted the oil, but what was it for? It wasn't about selling it. It wasn't about selling it whatsoever. It was about taking power. This was a power play. Had nothing to do with the production of oil. They can't produce this oil. You know why? Because this oil's too thick to produce. And their whole like refinery type shit is off kilter. It takes too long to do anything. Other countries can produce their oil a lot faster. This oil is too thick. It has to go through a whole process that their system are not built for to do in large quantities. So what's happening? Donald Trump's trying to take control of it so that he can be the power that over time, it's going to take a decade or so to get this shit all working out. But it's a fact of he is trying to control the actual reserves. So the oil companies come in and get it from him because he's the one who took it. He's going to get a piece of what the oil companies want. But see, here's the thing. A lot of these oil companies don't even want that oil. Why? Because it costs too much to produce. Gas prices won't go down, they'll go up. It costs too much to produce. So this isn't even about lowering your gas prices. It wouldn't. It would skyrocket your gas prices if they were allowed to produce it. They can't. They're part of OPEC. They can't produce that oil, and it's too hard to do. So Donald Trump and his minions and Dumbo Rubio, that dude who's had an imperialistic streak in him since he was in Florida and has had an issue with Maduro and all that forever. We're sitting here settling problems this dude had with Maduro, and Trump is listening to him because he's a senile fuck. And we're over here creating things that make us weaker. This does not make America strong. Oh, we look strong because we went and took him and our army and military is so good. Fuck all that. Gives a shit about how good our fucking army and military are when you're using it in an illegal manner. Who cares about that? I've heard some military generals that are retired. Well, first of all, we got to give a military. Shut the fuck up. We ain't got to get a military bullshit. They did something wrong. They followed something they should not have followed. They broke laws. What they did was illegal. Instead of listening to Senator Kelly, Mark Kelly, and not taking orders that should be illegal, they shouldn't fucking do, they followed them. How the fuck we gonna give them credit for that? Breaking the law. Give them credit for it. That's like me saying, oh, okay, that dude robbed a bank and shot 5 people. You know, he made off with the money. Let's give him credit for it. You didn't catch him. The fuck is that giving somebody credit for breaking the law? Snatching somebody, kidnapping somebody. Just as bad as giving Donald Trump and all. Oh, he had credit for having these girls and pedophilia and having them trapped. I give him credit. For what? For breaking the law? The fuck you talking about? Give a fuck about their strategy. I can sneak up on anybody and take them. They don't know I'm coming. Tired of giving people credit for shit for fucking up. I was just thinking today. For some reason, we give credit to people who are constant fuck-ups. They fuck up, fuck up, fuck up, fuck up. They get one thing that could possibly be leaning like it's a good thing. You give them praise. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And people who go out and do right every fucking day, you expect the world of them. That's the way you look at Democrats and Republicans. Republicans fuck up regularly. They put us in debt. They never pay shit off. They end up going through wars for no fucking reason. They make us non-safe. They give us problems. They got all kind of fucking weird issues. They fucking, most of them are doing crazy shit that's illegal. But once they do one thing right, oh, well, look, they're doing this, they're doing this. I heard like today on fucking like, was it MS Now, whatever. One of the anchors was saying, well, you know, Republicans always talk about the Democrats can't run their country because of the governor of Minnesota going through all these things that are happening, illegal things that are happening. He's no longer running for office. And she was sitting there making it seem like, oh, they talk about the Democrats can't, you know, manage or run their states, and they're kind of truthful. Bullshit. That man been successful at a lot of shit. How can he stop people from breaking laws? He can't. They break them, he can find them. But as long as he's putting them in jail, he's doing his fucking job. What do you think he is? Batman? There's a fucking like, somebody's breaking the law signal. Let me look into the sky and go save everybody. What the fuck are y'all talking about? You running your country, your state, is meaning you're catching them. He can't stop them from doing it, but catching them is what they've been doing. They've been charging these people since 2020, 21 or some shit like that. And they want to blame it on these people from other countries. When it was a white woman who's the head of the whole fucking thing. They've been talking about these brown people left and right. And it's been a white woman who orchestrated the whole thing to the tune of $250 fucking million. And they go in these small ass places where they barely got food, talking about they're just doing stuff against the law just because some little dumbass Republican podcaster went around lying on people. But they didn't tell you it was a white woman, $250 million, who led this entire thing. But they going around searching these small ass black organizations and shit, taking care of children, when the $250 million ain't gonna come from no little ass small places with 50 people as kids in their fucking schools. They got 50, 75, 100, and this bitch getting $250 million, and you worrying about these little ass places. And it turns out none of them that you were looking at were breaking the laws. The news came in, it was like, no, we got people coming in. He just came when it was closed. Again, wag the dog. That's why you had all these Republicans focusing on that story. Get away from Jeffrey Epstein. Go over here. And it turns out to be bullshit. Do the Republicans get held responsible for making this bullshit up? No. That's what I mean. When people are complete fuck-ups and they make another fuck-up, you expect them to be fuck-ups. You expect Republicans to be fuck-ups. You expect MAGA to be fuck-ups. So when they do something that's mildly not a fuck-up, you start, oh, wow, look what they're doing. No. No. Quit giving fuck-ups credit. They need to step up instead of being a fuck-up. That dude lied. And by lying the way he did, he should be sued by these organizations. They should sue him to oblivion. And he should be taken to jail for saying the shit that he said because he messed up their reputations. You can't just go around saying people did something that they didn't do and you have no proof. Just the fact that they wouldn't let you go look at some kids. Who the boy, you step into my place, look at my kids with some camera. I'm going to bust you in your throat. The fuck you talking about? And they tried to legitimize that again. Fuck ups. The idea of him thinking that that was going to be a real thing, that somebody was going to let him and some fat white dude walk into his fucking, watch some little kids with a camera. Get your little pedophile wannabe ass up out of here. The fuck you talking about? You better protect my kids. The fuck you going to sit down and come to school? Hey, baby, how you doing? You had a good day? Yeah, Dad, some white guy came in here and just started taking pictures of it. Say what? Yeah, he was just talking about what we eat and everything. I'm like, he did what? And he just took a camera and took pictures of you inside the school? Yeah, right. Oh, okay. Who is he? I'm hunting that bitch. Ain't no way in hell you ain't posting it. And once you do post it, I'm going to punch you. No way in hell that shit's going to happen. That's what kills me about this shit. Nobody sat around, Republican-wise, they were allowing this fuck up to become somebody. Push this fuck up to somebody. And when they realized he had fucked up and the news started coming around saying, oh, this doesn't make any sense. And the people started asking the little dumbass questions. Sir, so how you really thought that you was going to go look at kids with a camera? To do what? Just to make sure that they were getting what they were not doing. So the kids was what you was going to count the kids, get their names? What the fuck? You really thought that was going to be a thing? And we got a vice president and Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi put it up, but then she realized it was a fuck up. She took it down. Our vice president, J.D. Vance, didn't. Complete fuck ups. We expect them to be fuck ups. That's why we don't look at them as like they messed up, because they always are fucking up. Pete Hegseth has done nothing but fuck up since he came in. So therefore, you have no standards for him. If that man gets up and completes a successful day, it looks like he's got qualifications. But when you look at people who literally go to work and bust their ass, and each day is damn near fucking like huge success, and it's a daily thing, you begin to expect it. So when one day they come in and have a bad day, the news and shit is all over them for one bad day because they expect Republicans to be fuck ups. They expect Democrats to fix it up. So when that MS Now person, forgot her name, when she says, oh, well, the Republicans say that, you know, that the Democrats, they don't know how to run their states and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, Republican-led states are the poorest. How the fuck they run their state? There's so much crime in their states. Republican-led states have so many criminal elements in their state that you guys don't even report on it. I haven't heard one national news talk about the actual crime rate in like Tennessee is higher than Chicago. They quick to say Chicago, 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 because it is urban when you think of Chicago. But when you think of some bumfuck area and you realize that there's more crime there than it is Chicago, you don't even mention it, news media. You don't send your reporters out to say, what's going on in this Republican-led city? But you damn sure will send people to Chicago to talk to the mayor and shit like that. I'm sick of it. That's why I put it on blast. I'm sick of it. If nobody else is going to mention it, I will. When it gets to these countries that Donald Trump has mentioned, he's mentioned since he got into office that he wanted to take over Greenland away from Denmark or whatever it is. And then he wants to make Canada the 51st state. He wasn't playing. If I was Canada, I'd be getting my military ready. There's no way in hell. He mentioned Mexico today. If he really was thinking about drugs, that's where he should have brought his ass the first time. Take out the cartel. But he ain't never thought about that. He let go of the Honduran ex-president who brought over 400 tons of cocaine into this country. He let him go. 45 years that man was supposed to serve. Donald Trump let him go. Roger Stone asked him, all right, let him go. While he's on a campaign talking about he's looking for drugs over in Venezuela. And none of those drugs, or very little of those drugs, ever make it to our country. They go to Europe. So now we out here playing, like security and shit for Europe. The drugs coming in our country, you ain't doing shit about, supposedly. Because you ain't did nothing to the countries that bring it in and kill it. The fentanyl. They said it was fentanyl. That's what it was about. That's what they got all these MAGA and these racists all excited about getting rid of fentanyl because it's Latin people bringing it in and it's Venezuelan gang members with tattoos when they don't have fucking tattoos. No homework done. And when you tell them this was all a racist plot to take Venezuela's oil because Donald Trump and his dumbass minions realized that 20-something years ago, almost 30, we were told to get out of, basically, the Venezuelan oil business, whatever. And a lot of these oil businesses wanted to leave because it was too hard to actually produce this oil. So Donald Trump made this huge bullshit shit up about Venezuelans. And it baffles me, yo. It baffles me how many Venezuelans in this country were like excited about this shit. I was like, how many of y'all been so whitewashed that you can't understand the history of this fucking country? I don't get how you know nothing about the country you chose to run away from your country to live in. You don't know shit about it. I don't care what Maduro is and what he wasn't. That was up to you and your people in Venezuela to take him down and put in the people that you elected. Why did it need to be another military or somebody other country to come in and save you from something that you should be able to fight yourself? Yes, many of you guys would have lost your lives. But you would have decided, there's no more of this shit. We voted and the dudes will be in office. Take them out. Arm yourselves. Take over your country. But no. You wanted other people to come in and save you, and you got the devil that you didn't know to replace the devil that you did know. And some of these people have been telling Americans who are telling them, yo, you didn't really want this. And, you don't know what's going on in our country. We do want it. We're excited about it. I'm like, okay. What do you think is going to happen next? Because this man don't plan. He told these MAGA idiots that he had health care planned for them 10 years ago. And 8 years into it, 9 years into it, this fool said he still had concepts. So you think your life's going to change within the next 10 years? I guarantee you he's going to promise you 2 weeks. For the next 10 to 20 years, 2 weeks is coming. Oh, you wanted liberation? 2 weeks, it's coming. I said it's going to come in 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks. Well, it's 2 more weeks. And just like MAGA, 2 weeks turned into 10 years and they ain't got shit for it. Nada. Matter of fact, they fell for the banana in the tailpipe and lost their health care. We got rid of Obamacare. You mean what happened to the ACA? Because you too stupid to know they were the same fucking thing. So now you don't have any health care, or your health care is 2 to 4 times higher because your little orange queen decided, we don't want Obamacare. I got a better problem. I got a better solution. Really? What is it? They didn't even ask. We just want to get rid of that black plan. Get rid of that black plan. We don't want that. We don't want nothing to do with them M-words. And then find out it was that N-word that loved on you, and it was that orange dude that hated on you, and you chose hate over love. And now your ass gonna be without health care. Let you get a flu. See how much that shit gonna cost going to the doctor, and they have to wait and pump your chest up or some shit and wait and give you some antibiotics. And being in the hospital for a day, and shit's gonna cost your ass your fucking rent. Wait till that shit happens. Then you're gonna be like, oh, what the fuck? And you're gonna blame it on President Obama or President Biden, because you're too stupid to realize that you fucking voted for the dipshit that did it to you. And you don't want to admit responsibility or accountability for jack. So you're going to blame everybody and their mama but your own fucking decisions. We know you. We know you. We understand you. We've been understanding. Racist dipshits never take responsibility for shit. If they could push off racism to somebody else, it's your fault that I'm racist. If they could do it, they'd do it. But instead they try to hide because I don't want nobody to know who I really am. I'm not racist. Really? Really? So is Donald Trump racist? Nope. Then see, you have a fucked up understanding of what racism is. Because anybody who knows what racism is knows Donald Trump is a poster child for racism. And if you say he's not, then you don't know what the fuck racism is. This man demonized an entire race just so he can get some oil. Demonized. Not for a week. For an entire year. This man demonized Latin people. Chased them in the streets. Threw the military in the streets. Had these people drugged, beaten, thrown into jails, sent to overseas for tattoos that he lied about to tell you those are the gang members. And that gang doesn't even have tattoos. But you're too stupid to figure that out. And don't even care because your hate is stronger than your love. So you allowed it. And these people come back to this country. You still angry. They've been violated. And you mad at the people who got violated because they're brown. Not because of justice. Because they're still brown in your country. They did nothing wrong. No due process. That don't matter. He's brown, and Donald Trump, the orange dude, told me that I should hate him. So therefore you hated him. Not knowing that the innocent people are the ones you hate. And the demon that's orange is the one you love. Mm-hmm. But you'll never figure that out because you're hateful. You're racist. You're xenophobic. And you don't want to admit it. And people who say, well, because I'm a Trumper, I'm not a racist. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I'm getting tired of hearing people say, all Republicans aren't racist. Well, if you're supporting Donald Trump, you are. I said it. I don't give a fuck what anybody else says about it. You can't tell me you support a racist and you don't have racist tendencies. Black people who support racism love being slaves. And if it was up to you, we'd probably be back on the plantation. I said what I said. Because you guys go around kissing the ass of people who can't stand you. You know when you're not around, they're calling you the N-word. And just because they let you into their little space, give you a job and give you a little money so that you can be the Negro that talks bad about other Negroes, you feel like they care about you. You are nothing more than their fucking Negro dog. They feed you. They give you a little money. They ask you to go out and roll around, scratch the dirt, lick your own balls, and then come back to them and say, here's more money. Go out there and tell those Negroes that they ain't worthy of being in the house that you in. And you happily, with your little dog bone, run out and do that same shit every time. All of them. I said it. I said it. And I ain't taking it back because it's true. You can't support racists and say you don't have racist tendencies. There ain't a policy that Donald Trump has provided that any of these racist Republicans have ever been like, oh, wow, that's a great policy. What policy did he have? Huh? Tell me what policy he made up. What policy? Not, that fool ain't never had a policy. Project 25 is his, 2025 is his policy. The one that he said he didn't believe in. That's his policy. And that policy is what? White nationalists. Thank you. What are white nationalists? Racist ass white people. And if you support that shit, you're racist. So shut up with this. All Republicans who support Trump aren't racist. Yeah, you are. Yes, you are. Period. Quit lying to yourself because everybody else knows it. Now, for these Venezuelans, you got Delcy Rodriguez, the second in command, still leading your country. What you happy about? What you happy about? The same regime is still empowered. So if Donald Trump really cared about y'all, or this regime really cared about y'all, you know what would have happened? They would have let you vote to put in who you wanted to put in. They wouldn't have allowed Maduro's team to still run the country. That would have been a very strong act of war, because I don't think they would have went down without a fight. But because they snatched him in the heat of the night and disappeared, there was no prolonged fighting. And they thought that it put enough fear in you guys that you would shut up and just accept it. And it's pretty much happened. The second in command is in power, which means there's no change. What you happy about? And Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck about you, because if he did, he wouldn't have spent a whole year demonizing people who look like you and come from where you live. These Americans who can't stand these Venezuelans, they can't stand Venezuela. They made you into a drug country when it's Colombia, when it's Mexico, when it's China. They made you into the drug company. Why? Because, let me see, because you're probably more brown. And not the fact that you're the skin or whatever, just saying that they think of you as more of these others. And so now he's otherized you. You guys aren't even human. And the things that kills me in America, the Venezuelans who have sat back and watched these other Venezuelans do it and act like it's not me, it's them, they're the criminals. And when you find out these people who came back, 99% of them, or was it only 8 out of the few hundred, actually had committed a crime. They took people who were Venezuelan just because they were Venezuelan and had tattoos. That was it. That was it. There was no crimes. And these Venezuelans out here like, oh yeah, you shouldn't have did anything wrong, blah, blah. Nah, bruh. Nah, sis. They came after you because they demonized you. They turned you into less than a fucking pet. These people wouldn't do to their fucking Rottweiler what they did to people who look like you. And you're too stupid to fucking figure out that they turned you into something less than a fucking animal just so they can go around blowing up boats and killing people who look like you, who were fishing or whatever the fuck they was doing, then send you off to prisons and get your ass beat for shit you didn't even do. Shave your head, put your fucking head between your knees, disrespected you on a consistent fucking level, and you dipshits, well, they deserve it, and they look just like you. And they did no crime. And you are too wussy to fess up that you fucked up. That you right now, on the scale of humans, are less than a fucking puppy. Because you allowed that shit to happen. Yeah. So go look at your dog and realize that you and it are the same in this fucking country right now. You fucked yourselves. These racist white people think of you as less than pets. Pete Hegseth wouldn't do to his fucking puppy what he did to you. And you out here clapping. Fucking stupid. If they cared about crime, why are they letting all these people go? They had to demonize you so they can take their oil. Backtrack a little bit, if you will. Do you think if they had just left y'all alone and didn't demonize you that Donald Trump can go over to Venezuela and do what he did? No. They had a year plan of fucking with your culture. It ain't over yet. They had a year plan of turning you from humans to less than dogs, that these people can look at you and say, no big deal that he blew up 80, 100 of you. No big deal. Even got you believing it was okay. Getting in your cars, producing content, acting like you were bigger and better than these people. And I asked you, no matter whether you're Honduran, no matter whether you're Mexican, Guatemalan, no matter whether you're from Venezuela or any other place, look in the mirror and tell me how the fuck you look different than any of all those people. Y'all all brown, light skin brown to dark skin brown, all brown. How the hell you think these racist white people could determine who the fuck you are? You may look in the mirror and say, oh yeah, I'm Honduran, of course. They don't know. That's why they treated Latin people, even black people, who are Latin or even just black when they did that shit and had them go outside their apartments because they thought there were some Venezuelans in there with tattoos. It kills me when people don't protect themselves. And it takes black women, black men to educate you on your own fucking demise. This couldn't happen if people, good people, united and didn't let racist people break you up. They're laughing. They have killed people who look like you and they're laughing about it. They were promoting it on TV and news like it was the thing to do. If these people saw you as human, do you really think about it for a second, Venezuelans? I really want you to think about this for a hot second. I'm gonna put something in your mind and tell me would you think they'd do it. If Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth, Kaka Cash Patel, Pam Bondi, Marco Rubio, Dumbo Rubio, if they told you they blew up an entire boat filled with dogs, do you think they'd be able to blow up a second one? Do you think Americans would stand with them blowing up another boat filled with dogs? Pets. They wouldn't. But they kept blowing your ass up. Could they do it if they were going to blow up a boat filled with white people in it? Nope. There'd be one boat and there'd be the last boat. And before Donald Trump demonized you and turned you into less than a puppy, if you had been on that boat and you blew it up before that demonization and dehumanization, they wouldn't have did a second boat on you either. Understand the strategy and avoid it next time. Any other culture out there that isn't white, take heed to what they did to the Venezuelans, because you're next. Don't fuck up like the Venezuelans fucked up. Don't fuck up like some of these Latin people fucked up. Follow this, okay? Follow it. Pay attention. What they did to them is coming your way. Because this demonization is going to wear its ass out for a little bit. And when they want to go take other places that might have somewhat white people on it, like Greenland, when they want to take that over, somehow they're going to have to demonize people who look like over there, whatever it may look like. If the majority of people over there are white, they're going to have to find out a way to make certain white people demonized, dehumanized in order to take it over. Because they got to desensitize you from it. Mexico, he mentions you. You're already brown. He already done demonized you. So it's going to be a little bit easier for him to get you. Pay attention. Learn from it. Don't just pay attention to me. Learn from what they're doing to the Venezuelans and realize the moment they start demonize another race outside of them, you're next. Listen to Donald Trump when he talks. He literally said Greenland, Cuba, Colombia, Mexico. It ain't a joke. He coming after y'all. And you either let him demonize you or you get on the front of this and you start making no demonization possible. You start making what he says a lie before he starts it. The leadership is already trying to get other countries to back them before Donald Trump tries to get them to back him. Take heed or you're going to find yourself in the same position as them. Now, there's other countries, they don't have oil. But trust me, there's going to be another campaign because they're on their imperialistic fucking mindset. This is their game here now. If our House, Congress, House and Senate don't do shit about it, they're going to keep moving on. They're going to keep moving on. Happy belated birthday, Woke Mike. I just saw that. They're going to find another group to demonize. They've already demonized black people. They don't got to do too much. But see, we are aware of what they're doing. For some reason, either you are other cultures or you just playing stupid and you think, oh, they're just going to get the black people. We can skate by. That ain't going to work. That is not going to work. It did for a while, but it's not going to work. But keep on keeping on, because your hatred of black people is just as strong as these racist white people. Because you think they care about you. As long as they fucking with the black people, they're not fucking with you. Yeah. Keep on thinking that. Right now, they're fucking with light-skinned Latin people in Venezuela. And they can't tell you from them at all. Y'all gonna have to start wearing t-shirts. I'm Mexican and I'm Guatemalan and I'm this. I'm not Venezuelan. That's what you need to get a t-shirt. I'm not from Venezuela. Venezuela. Let me say Venezuela. Or I hate Venezuelans. That way they know that you ain't one of them. You're gonna figure something out. Cause trust me, they coming after y'all. Been coming after you. Now they done got the oil. Watch and see. A lot of the shit they was pushing out before, they ain't gonna push out no more because they got their goal. They ain't gonna keep pushing out, blowing up boats and shit. Why to blow up a boat? We got what we wanted. We pretended for weeks after killing 100-some people that we wanted to get rid of drugs. We were telling you that the drug we was trying to get rid of don't even get produced in this damn country. We're killing people for drugs they aren't even moving. And too many fucking dumbass Americans was believing in it. Well, we gotta get this drug out the country. My kid, and it killed me too when they saw all these parents and shit, mostly white that I saw. They need to get these drugs out of here. My daughter died with this. My daughter died with that. How about you search and realize that your daughter died with fentanyl and that shit's coming from China by way of Mexico? How about you know that? I feel bad that your family member died doing the drugs. But you ain't solving a damn thing if you're trying to fuck with Venezuelans who aren't bringing the drug here. So your hatred is more important than the real reason that your daughter or son died. It blows the mind. You're on TV crying about your kid dying from a fentanyl overdose, and you don't even know where fentanyl comes from. You're just willing to hate anybody that somebody tells you sells drugs. It's not solving your problem at all. Be mad at China for creating the element that binds it and it coming through Mexico. Be mad at them. Has nothing to do with Venezuelans. But they were on Fox and other places wanting you to feel bad for their family member and put it all on Venezuelans. It's like, we feel bad for your family member, but your daughter died because she took a drug on purpose and it was laced. This woman's husband died because he was on a fucking fishing boat because you had hate toward him. How the fuck does his life not matter, but your daughter who took the fucking drug, who purposely took the fucking drug, and the person who was fishing for his fucking family got blown the fuck up, and you celebrating that shit and on the news crying about your child when this woman's husband has died for no fault of his fucking own? And you ain't got no remorse from him? Fuck you. Displaced anger. Displaced hate. I feel sorry for your child. But it does not justify you coming on the news and shit talking about Venezuela. No, it was not them. China. Place it where it needs to be. And they even stopped producing. They just have the element that binds it. It comes from somewhere else. But by way of Mexico. It's crazy. You get tired of people not educating themselves and putting the shit on the wrong people. on the wrong people. You got a reason to be mad. You got people you should be angry at. But they are not the ones. And you sat here and watched them go through hell for a year. Sent to prisons without due process, and you said it was okay. It's crazy. It's just crazy, y'all. Some of the things I got like the briefing that happened today. There's a briefing that happened today. And that briefing just ended probably an hour, almost 2 hours ago. I'll say about an hour and a half ago, I guess. And Chuck Schumer came out and spoke about it. I got a little clip from him. And I got it off of give credit to MS Now. That's where I got the clip from. But before we do that, I want to set up something real quick. And this is for Americans and Venezuelans as well. Donald Trump and his minions, Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, they notified, back up, they told, when they briefed weeks ago, the group, I don't know if it was a gang of 8, whomever, whichever group it was, but representatives and senators and stuff like that, they briefed them and said they weren't going to go to war, they weren't going to have any kind of regime change, they weren't going to do these things. They literally lied to Congress's face. Lied about it. Okay. Now we'll move on to what happened next. They planned for months to do this. Months to do this. Plan, strategize for months, keeping it away from the House and the Senate. Planned it. Didn't tell nobody. But you know who they did tell? The oil companies in America. They strategized with the billionaire oil companies and let them know what they were going to do, and didn't let Congress, which by Constitution decides whether we go to war or not, holds the purse strings for it all. Senate, then the president can make his decision from there. They told these oil companies what they were going to do. And here's the thing. They literally said the reason why they didn't tell Congress is because they didn't want any leaking. You told billionaires and didn't think they would leak? But people who make the laws in this country, in the House and in the Senate, you believed they would leak classified information. This is classified information that you told billionaires. Shit they should never know about. But you let them know what you did. And didn't brief House and Senate until later. A select group of people at the House and Senate. And they'll tell, I guess, the rest of them tomorrow. All right. We're going to go in a little bit as to what that really means, America. What does that mean? But we're going to go ahead and listen to Chuck Schumer, Senator Chuck Schumer, actually speak about that. It's short.
Their plan for the U.S. running Venezuela is vague, based on wishful thinking, and unsatisfying. When the United States engages in this kind of regime change and so-called nation building, it always ends up hurting the United States. I left the briefing feeling that it would again.
every time we've done this. It's not the first time. This is why I say this is not just Donald Trump or even Republicans. Democrats and Republicans alike have displayed this disrespect of power because the House and Senate have allowed certain things to kind of go flimsy when their people are in power. Donald Trump has taken it to another fucking level out of the stratosphere. Don't get me wrong. Donald Trump is horrifically worse than anybody else. But this has been over 40, 50 years of presidents that have been allowed to do things. They even created, I can't remember the name of it. I'm going to look it up here again. But it's like, I wouldn't say a doctrine, but there's some kind of relaxation of the laws for the presidents that they can get, up to like 60, 90 days of warlike type activities before they have to contact the Congress. They've allowed that to happen. That's why you don't see the Democrats actually being able to do anything, because they too help vote that type of measure in, right? So they've all been doing this. It's just that Donald Trump has taken it to the nth level. Now these other things, they have informed the House and the Senate in the select group, the Gang of Eight, that they were going to do this, or immediately after doing it, they let everybody know what they were doing. And Republican, Democratic presidents have done this. Didn't used to be like this. The law was the law. The Constitution was the Constitution. They couldn't make a move until the House and Senate were made notification of before they even made a move. This is how it used to be, many, many, many years ago, beyond 40, 50 years ago. And that has slowly crept away because they've given the executive office more and more power, to the point where Donald Trump has the line they keep on trying to cross. Donald Trump don't blew past that shit. A marathon distance. They were moving by 1 foot, 5 feet at a time. Donald Trump, 26.2 fucking miles ahead of that. So they're mad about it, but what can they really say? We've relaxed the laws the way things are supposed to go, to the point where he can do this. They just didn't expect somebody would do something like this. They thought that the president, being a president that rose to that type of power, would not be this power-seeking, money-wanting, money-grubbing piece of shit human. They would think that people rise to the top wouldn't be that type of person. And instead, they found Donald Trump not once, but twice. Which tells you that when Biden was in, they should have changed that law. Should have changed it, got rid of it. But no, they all take part in it to some degree. It is their powers that they have exploited to some degree in supposedly the betterment of America. But in reality, each president has made us less safe with that same strategy. Not Donald Trump again. His is astronomically different, but it's still that same strategy where you're giving the president too much fucking power. The executive office has gotten too much. And then again, with Donald Trump, the Supreme Court became sycophants. Everybody who's in power became sycophants. Under the other presidents, they didn't have that. Even Donald Trump, under his first presidency, had people who were trying to constrict him from doing what he wanted to do. And that's the same thing that goes with every president before him. That's why they all have not gone as far as Donald Trump. Donald Trump threw away the barriers, got loyalists, and free to do whatever he wants to do. Got immunity. And they trust an idiot to run our country, because you got to ask these MAGAs, these racist white men, and the Marco Rubios and the Kaka Cash Patel, what are they seeking? I think it's just money and power. They got this Napoleon complex shit. They feel like they were bullied and weak, and Donald Trump was dumb and never smart, so he's pissed off at everybody who's smarter than him. They're just revenge and vengeful. They set on revenge and vengeful toward anybody and everybody who makes them feel small. And that's why we have the presidents that we have. And like I said with me, the best president I've seen was President Obama. And reason why, he was cool throughout it all, even though he took advantage of some of these things as well, with the drone strikes and all that, doing them without Congress. That's part of that. It's not breaking the law. It's what Congress allowed, even though they bitched and moaned about it, the Republicans. It's what Republicans and Democrats alike have allowed, to the point where they got a sycophant like Donald Trump in, and he went to those boundaries just like Obama did and blew those bitches apart. Democrats, Republican alike have destroyed this country and continue to destroy it. When it comes to power, we are not safer, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care what people say. We are not safer. We are pissing off every fucking country. You do understand, enough countries come together, America will lose. No matter how many bombs. We ain't the only one with nuclear weapons. Hydrogen bombs. We ain't the only one. And if enough countries come together, it's a wrap, Jack. And we keep on building this hate on top of hate on top of hate, and we keep electing these people. Everybody in office, Pete Hegseth, a punk bitch. People who want war all the time are punk bitches. They always want to put pain on somebody else so that they can feel like they're strong. Strong people don't need to hurt people to feel strong. They unite people. But see, that's what happens with regimes like this. If we unite, it's their nemesis. As long as they can keep us divided, we're always fucked. So instead of saying, because I'm always getting on Donald Trump, but I also get on the Democrats as well. But when I said, well, it's we the people, not me the people. And we need to rein in this authority that they've given the presidents. And that's why we need to speak in terms of no president, Republican, Democrat, Independent, or whatever party comes in the future. No president should have this type of authority. They should have checks and balances. And every time one of these regimes come in, they literally are allowing the president and others to be able to have more power than they deserve. These things say we are equal branches of law. Work together like a fine oiled machine, and America can become strong and powerful and less threatening to other people, unless there's something that they try to do toward us. But to go and find issues to always try to solve, there's always going to be problems, ladies and gentlemen. In a country right now, somewhere out there's a dictator killing people. We can't be the saviors. We don't look like Captain Save a Hole everywhere, right? I mean, we're going to go save everybody. The fuck we look like? We don't have capes on. We ain't supposed to be out there saving everybody. We should be protecting us. Don't stretch ourselves so thin that our homeland is weak because we own everybody else's soil, acting like we the fucking Superman hero of everything. We're not. Don't stretch yourself thin and be on every fucking country and continent just so that you can seem like you're strong. How you strong when you spread thin? This country needs leaders who realize and recognize our strength, but don't go out and flex it all the time. Flexing it all the time gets people to understand what your strategies are. If you're constantly doing something, I get to study you. I'm like, oh, okay, he's constantly this way. Oh, he did that bomb. He did this. He did that. Now I know your strategies. But if you just sit down and chilling and you ain't got no strategy to implement, they can't figure out how to infiltrate you. Because they're like, well, they ain't done nothing. We don't know what they got. But we out there flexing and showing everybody what we got. That makes us more of an easy target. And it gets more and more people to hate us. And when people hate us, that's when 9/11s happen. That's when we had World War II. And Donald Trump is setting us up for World War III. Mark my words. China and all these other countries, they ain't going to take it. They ain't going to take it. I'm still doing the research on what I heard, a video I heard, and like again, I don't know if it was AI or not. That's why I'm doing research on it. But supposedly China has some kind of like super weapon they have that supposedly we don't have, and I don't know if that's true or not. So I'm gonna do my research before I definitely get into it. But you can look it up yourself. But supposedly they have weapons too that we don't have that are just as dangerous, if not more dangerous than some of the weapons we have. And I don't know every weapon we have. This is just something that they quoted. So it was an actual Chinese leader was talking about it. Oh, it wasn't the president, but it was somebody that's, I guess, in the military. I will research it and make sure that that's valid. But there's something to check and find out if that's true. But we need to hold all presidents responsible and say no president should have this power. We should talk to our congressmen and women and say that you guys have got to start restricting these departments, these legislatures of law. I mean, you got the executive. You got to limit that. 60, 90 days? No, that's too long. You talking about 3 months of performing some kind of warlike activity and snatching people and killing people, and the president can get away with that? No, without telling you later. When they talk about telling you later, the part of that particular rule is it has to be imminent, meaning like we heard from our intelligence that someone's trying to strike us. Well, that's an imminent threat. Then the president can act. He ain't got to go through Congress and take it through all this crazy shit. He should be able to do emergency shit. Do it. But this wasn't an emergency. It wasn't hurting America whatsoever. There were no drugs coming from that country to us. It's going to Europe. The gangs in which they said it was in this country were not in this country like they're talking about. And they don't have tattoos. So all this shit was a lie. All of it was a ruse to justify unaliving brown people from Venezuela and in this country and throwing them in prisons and shit. And then taking their oil. And again, like I said, you know how this was the strategy and the plan from day one. Donald Trump started pulling the military out of the states. I thought you was looking for crime, bro. You made it seem like it was infiltrated with crime and all these people, Latin people you had to get. We haven't seen any more video of people being snatched up. I ain't saying that it ain't happening. I'm just saying we're not seeing the video because he got what he wanted. The oil. Got it. Now it's time to like squell all the other stuff. We got to push on that. We got a country to run. That's what we wanted. The strategy worked. Mm-hmm. Now they got to start working on another group of people to demonize, because if they're going to go to Greenland, they're going to go to Mexico, they're going to go to Cuba, or they're going to go to Colombia, they got to start demonizing Colombians and Mexicans and whatever you call Greenlanders, or I don't know what they are. They got to start demonizing you. So that campaign of demonizing Venezuelans, I'm pretty sure that's going to slow down a little bit. And now they're going to go to another brown culture. Probably close. Probably Colombia is right next door. Mm-hmm. Cuba. He talked about Cuba. They got a lot of their finances from this oil. Venezuelan oil. So now that he has control of it, they won't get their oil. And now he's going to end up putting a stranglehold on Colombia so that they don't get any money and they don't get this oil. So they're going to need Donald Trump. And if they need Donald Trump, they're going to have to make deals with Donald Trump. And that's all they really cared about. You see, the strategy is to take over places, to do this colonizing shit. And too many of these Republicans are just so happy about colonizing other countries, being imperialists, going to other countries and taking them over by force. It's crazy how so many people keep fighting to say, I'm not like my ancestors. The white people are no longer like their ancestors, and they are. Not all of them, of course, but they're doing the same thing as their ancestors, Donald Trump and his minions, while telling you, don't believe I'm just like them. Well, these are the same type of people that said they didn't like slavery, but would go to a hanging and have a picnic. What can I do? Slavers be slaving. I don't like it, but I ain't gonna say nothing against it. I ain't gonna put my life up for his. Just gotta live with it. And it's the same shit they're doing right now to Venezuelans. Not the slavery part, but they're like, what I'm gonna do. Do what your ancestors did. Admit you're a colonizing, racist piece of shit and keep it moving. Quit acting like you get hurt by being called that. That's who you are. If you're supporting this shit, that's who you are. It hurts to be called what you actually are, especially what you are is a piece of shit. Yeah, the Monroe Doctrine, he calls it the Donroe Doctrine. I'm like, I'm done, yo. I mean, it's like, again, I'm so sick of this, y'all. I just want, this is what they asked for. Constant chaos. For what, though? Because they hate us so much? Hate liberals and Democrats and shit that you're willing to put your own life through hell? It's crazy, too, because they get excited that we're upset and they're not upset about it. But they're getting kicked out their health care. They're losing jobs, 1 million plus. Things are costing way more. They're losing money. I don't get any of this shit, man. I ask God about this stuff all the time. I'm like, how did you come about creating these people? Because to me, God, these are mistakes. You can't tell me that you didn't make a mistake. These people are fucking mistakes. You can't tell me that they're not. These weird ass human beings, they give a shit about themselves because they hate on somebody else just as strong. Don't give me that free will shit. That's a mistake. I'm just saying. These types of humans are mistakes. Period. You can't tell me that it was meant to be that way. Mm-mm. Yeah, I see. Like they said that last night, Vera, pulling a race card. I'm like, there's no card to pull, fool. My card is always out. I can't pull it out. It's just there. You pulling out your racism card or what it is, because once you recognize me, you're the one that's pulling the card because I don't think you're racist until you open your mouth. So you're the one that's sneaking something out that nobody gets to see. But my black card, I'm black the entire time. It ain't like I snuck up and be like, guess what? I'm black. Nah, nah. You're like, guess what? I'm racist. That's the card to be pulled. But again, projection is everything. They tell black people they pulling out a card. It's like, why? Because I'm calling you out for who you are? Because see, your card told me you were just a white person. But then all of a sudden you said and did some racist shit. Now you're a racist. And I'm pulling out a card. No, you're the one that snuck out the racism. I saw just a white person. You're the one that pulled the card. I just told you what the card was. You're pissed off at me for telling you, hey, look, I'm just a mirror. When you look into me and you see yourself and you hate what you see here, that's on you. I call you the racist because that's what you are. I'm reflecting what you're saying, what you're doing. Don't get mad at somebody because they recognize you as being a racist as if they're the bad person. I know. No. Had you not said something racist, I've been like, I would call you Ted, Becky, Mary. Hey, Mary, how you doing? But when you say something racist, I'm like, hey, racist. I didn't pull no card. You did. Has their own beliefs. I feel you rude. I mean, myself, again, I just believe in a higher power. I mean, I was raised Christian though, big time, and still have some of those tendencies, but I appreciate everybody's view. I love on everybody, and it is what it is. That's all we can do is respect what people necessarily believe and choose to hang with them or not, and that's what I do. Oh, did I even forget to put y'all up? I did. Bad host. I said they're tripping. There y'all go. But yeah, holidays was good for me. Hope it was all good for you. Um, hung out with family and friends and did some things. Um, I stayed away from a lot of this, y'all. I had to take a break in a way. I didn't talk a lot about politics and what was going on with Trump. So it took me a few days to even talk about the Venezuela stuff because I had already said way before it happened. Like I said, it's like prophetic. I said he's there for the oil. He's killing these people on boats about drugs, and one of the boats washed up and it was marijuana on it, which is legal in like 30 states here, 30, 29, 34, whatever it is. States here. I'm like, so you killing people for marijuana now? So you just can just bomb Snoop Dogg in a heartbeat and just let it go. I mean, no, that's fucked up. But nope. I bet you could find more what in Snoop Dogg's house than you can find on those boats, and they blowing up. It's crazy. It's crazy, yo. They killed people over marijuana, and really it was all over oil. I called it. I said it before it even happened. And people on the news were literally talking about all these drugs coming in. These drugs, is it really drugs? Is it really drugs? And then they had a press conference and briefing. And this is where I knew that Democrats that are in office, some of them are just as snaky as these Republicans because they came out of that meeting and they were like, well, I think some of it was drugs and some of this was this and some of this, blah, 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 blah. If I am a person sitting right here watching this shit and just reading and learning, you guys got actual data. You listening to these Republicans talking in the shadows and in the restrooms and shit like that. You had to have known they was going for this dude's oil. But y'all didn't say nothing. You didn't try and stop it. You act like it was about some drugs. They told you it was about some kind of drugs. You realize it wasn't. You find out that they blow the boat up twice and kill 2 men. Where's that shit at? There's a way for y'all all to talk about every last one of these topics. You send people out to talk about them. The news will keep going on. Today, Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna could have been talking about Epstein and said, I don't want to talk about nothing but Epstein. Schumer and a few others could have been talking about just, one other area. And when they got invited into the news, they were like, this is all I'm talking about. You guys can cover all these shits at the same time. But you choose to go on these shows and literally talk about one fucking topic. The topic of the day. I was hard pressed to hear people talk about the Epstein files until I heard on the weekend or weeknights or whatever it is, the Republican, I keep forgetting his name. He came up and said something about it. I was like, oh shit, y'all. And later on the show or whatever it is, like, you literally you mentioned the Epstein files? Oh wow. They could cover all of these topics. It ain't gotta be the topic of the fucking day. You determine what gets on the news. You can cover what happened today, then cover all the important things. Epstein files should be on every news channel every day until they're fucking released. I don't care what happens. I don't care if the president gets trying another assassination attempt. This should not be all day assassination attempt. It should be assassination attempt, first segment, next segment, Epstein files. Next segment, still blowing up boats, Venezuela. You got to stop being lured into spending all day on one fucking topic. All right. Kamala did tell him, Vera. Kamala told him. Again, they didn't want to listen to this black woman speak. I mean, like, again, she was prophetic. She was saying this stuff. alongside what when I was saying it and other mutuals and Tabitha and Political Sis and other brothers and sisters, Coach D, a bunch of other my mutuals, all was saying it. She was saying it. It was, again, it was not hard. It was not even a stretch to believe what we were saying. Because everything we had facts behind it. We had actual, uh, receipts. We read Project 2025. We came in and told you about segments and went into depth about them. Every one of these people did that to some degree. Even our sister Joy Reid was doing it on national TV, cable. To her show was taken from her. Don Lemon was talking about it. Again, just like the saying, but I use it. You can lead a dumbass to water, but you can't make them drink it. So we kept leading these dumbasses, and they chose cyanide over water. So the best thing that we can do, and I'll be starting, I pushed it back for the I Have a Solutionist, is to start, it's going to be this year, by next month, is start creating solutions for ourselves. It's got to be we the people. And the people got to start making decisions, because I don't believe our leaders are even capable of leading for us. They focus on the billionaires, and we're the people that make billionaires who they are. We're the ones buying their products and sending their kids to these expensive colleges and allowing them to have yachts and shit. It is us that buy this shit. And if we start resourcing it ourselves within a group, we can start taking some of that away from them and do it ourselves. And these are part of solutions that I'm coming up with, but we can all come up with different solutions. It's a we thing. We can agree on some things and start shifting it away from them and more toward good people. We can't stop people from being millionaires or billionaires, but what we can do is start focusing on people who give a damn about people and help them as well as ourselves grow with each other. I'd rather turn someone into a billionaire that gives a damn about the American people and are willing to give American people living wage jobs and create industries and communities so that you don't have to travel 4 hours to work or half hour to work. You can just work in your community and make a decent, honest, living wage, instead of fucking around like working 3 and 4 jobs and driving an Uber and delivering food and, every once in a while sewing somebody or knit somebody a fucking sweater just so you can be able to get your bills paid. That shit is ridiculous. It is billionaires that have put us in that situation. And I for the life of me, I can't understand why we keep on making them richer and all they do is keep on making us poor and fucking our world up. I don't understand it for the life of me. I understand things we got to do because we haven't devised a solution that can replace it. But we need to start doing that. And that's what we're going to start talking about on some of the shows, the episodes with Avid Solutionists. So I'm going to do the best I can, and I want us to all bring our minds together and think of things as well. When I do that show, I want to start inviting people to talk. We can do it over Zoom or whatever, about their problems, and we're going to work on trying to solve those problems, and everybody in the room can kind of like through the comments love on that person and say, hey, this is what you think you should do, is what you do. Because again, we want to solve problems for people. If they're going through something, if we all have wisdom that we've grown up with, and we try to hold it for us and our families. And oftentimes you realize your kids, uncles, and nieces and nephews don't want to listen to you. But you'll find a neighborhood kid that would think that everything you got to say is golden. Why? Because they weren't raised up with you and they see your wisdom. And they don't have any kind of competition or issue or disbelief. They got total belief in you because they can see that you can do what you say you can do. And your words have inspired them. So now we have a community, and we will start growing that community, but it'll be on Avid Solutionists, where will create solutions and become a beacon of solutions for people, no matter what it is. I don't care if it's relationship, friendship, technology. I don't care what it is. We need a place for solutions and people that actually give a damn. And that's what I'm going to try and build with Avid Solutionist. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let this thing go tonight on this one. I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for being members. Happy New Year to y'all. I hope all things are going well for you. I don't know if people believe in New Year's resolutions. I just keep it moving. I just keep on trying to do a positive thing every day. I don't really deal with New Year's resolutions, but I have no problem with people who do. So I hope if you do have them, that you reach them. And we'll look forward, tomorrow and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? This regime, I really have no positive things to say. I wish I did, but there's really nothing positive to say other than stay awake, stay woke. Don't allow them to tell you to fall asleep. Stay awake and pay attention to what's around you. Because like I said, listen to the little words that this man is saying and his little minions. When they start somewhat demonizing another culture, just understand, if you are of that culture, you're next. And if you aren't of that culture, don't fall for whatever the fuck they're trying to sell you about that culture. Do your homework and find out where they're lying. They can't do it to us if we're educated enough that they can't lie us into doing stupid shit. And for those who are in the military, stop following this man. When I know it's your job to follow him, what he tells you to do, but when it's illegal, don't do it. That's all I'm saying. Just don't fucking do it. Because I'm no disrespect. If it finds out to be illegal and you follow through, I'm one of those Americans that wants to see you in jail. Sorry. I want to see you behind bars because you knew better. If I know better, you damn sure know better. That's what I'm saying. And that right there is a patriot, a person who says nobody in this country is above the law. Not one. Not me, not you, not Donald Trump. Nobody. All right, ladies and gentlemen, much love to y'all. I'll see y'all again tomorrow. Let me go ahead and I always forget how to support me. I'm terrible. I'm terrible with my own show. If you want to support the show, this is how you do it. Other than that, let's see how we get this. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Y'all take care. I'll see you when I see you.